So, second time trying to make this live. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly jump on and just do a quick message for this pre-eclipse energy as we move into this solar eclipse that'll be happening Australian time at night, so like 4 a.m. It'll be during the day for people in the north of the planet. So yeah, I just wanted to do a quick message. There's a lot of fear, like a lot. Whether it's Devil's Comet, whether it's CERN, whether it's what NASA's doing, whether it's bridges collapsing, whether it's the path of the eclipse, so many things, like so many things. But all I want to say is it's not the end of the world, you know, like we're not all going to die, you know, it's not going to be like a total apocalypse. I feel like it's going to just be like what it was in 2012 when they said that the world was going to end, you know, and it was just an energetic shift. So that's what I think is going to be happening during this eclipse. It is just an energy shift. And the thing is though, wow, what did I want to say? As in, like, you're in control of your destiny, you know, like your mind and your beliefs and your frequency and what's in your heart and what's in your mind is your energetic imprint, you know, is your karma, is your future, is where you're going to reside on whatever energetic plane. And so if you're in fear consciousness, which that is what they want everybody to be in fear to bring about the reality that they're trying to create. If you're in fear, that's what's going to happen. And it's also going to create your biggest fears too. But if you're in a place of peace and understanding and doing your best moving through this energy, you know, you're not going to be as affected. And so I just wanting to say is like, yes, there is going to be an energy change. It's already happening. We're already feeling it. We're already in the eclipse portal, but it's not the end of the world. Don't buy into the fear and just trust that you are going to be okay, and that, you know, whatever you're dealing with right now will resolve itself, and what is best will work out in the end. So just have that belief, you know, even no matter what's coming up for you, because a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are going through so many intense emotions, or other people are dealing with, you know, really radical things happening, whether it's breakups, whether it's divorces, or losing your home, or losing your job, or just even having to deal with, you know, past stuff, like since you were a kid, or having to evolve and grow up finally. So everybody's dealing with it in their own way. But I just think you just need to come from a positive perspective and understand that everything's happening for a reason, and you're in control of your reality, in your heart and your mind, and what direction you want to go. So there's some things that I quickly want to touch on with this message, is that, yes, so yeah, there is an energetic shift happening, and so we're being propelled in a new direction. You know, we're being, eclipse portals are always, or any eclipse season is about, just say you're going down a road and then all the lights go off and then the lights come back on and you're a completely different road. That is eclipse season in a nutshell. So if you can understand that, you'll understand what's happening right now. So just understand we're going through an energetic shift. We're being pushed in the right direction of where we need to go, what is best for our soul purpose, our soul journey, and for us as a collective. Also, with this is also happening with myself as well. There's a lot of fear thoughts. You know, Mercury is retrograde. Mercury is the mind, Mercury is communication, and it's going back in areas where this eclipse is with Chiron. So, you know, you might be experiencing a lot of fear thoughts. Fears from the past coming up, like from when you're a kid or from when you're a teenager, or just recent events, just, you know, just fear thoughts of things that can really eat at you and bring down your energy. So do not buy into the fear thoughts, whether it's the collective or your own. There's just a lot of fear thoughts going on at this time, and so to just ignore them. And I think my main message is for me, is to share, is to be who you truly are. And this is something that I've really felt, especially over the last few weeks, is to own who you are. Like, I can be a bit of a chameleon or what would you say, a shape shifter, like, because I have so many interests and I don't know, hobbies and things like that, and also from like childhood trauma stuff, I can shift into suit any type of person that I'm speaking to, because I have so many interests and I like to connect to people. And so I've realized within myself is that I need to just be who I truly am, not change for whoever I'm talking to or whatever situation it is. Like, I'm not somebody who likes to, like, I'm not a people pleaser person. Like, I don't care if someone likes me or not. Like, I will go against what I think is right or what's wrong or whatever it is. But there was just something about me that I always I just realized recently that I will change myself to connect to people. And so I think we're all kind of having to be our authentic self, because that's what Aries is. It's like, who are you really? You know, are you changing to suit different people and or situations? So I don't know, not everybody is a bit of a chameleon, but people also do wear a mask. People have their mask for society, that fake happy, or that, do you know what I mean? Like somebody who likes to help everyone, but they don't really. They just do it for people to like them, or virtue signaling, you know? So this is a time to just be your real self. And that's why I wore this dress. I just see it as like an activation dress, especially with like on the heart space. But yeah, so this solar eclipse is really asking us to really step into our true selves, not change for other people around us, not change to be accepted by anyone, just be ourselves and what we want and the direction we want to go. So that's really important, is to be who you truly are. And that also means letting go of our coping mechanisms. Like, a lot of us, whatever happened in childhood or growing up or past lives, we have these coping mechanisms that we think are who we are, whether they're toxic or whatever it is. Like, it might not be toxic, it just might help you cope. Or there's other people that are quite toxic in their behavior, especially towards other people. But whatever it is, we need to let go of that at the moment. We can't operate in that old wounded way. We have to be our authentic selves and understand that the way that we have coped or survived or whatever it is, it's time for that to fall off now. It's time to grow up now and be our authentic selves. And that is what it's about. It's like being that warrior, stepping into who you really are, because it's with Chiron. Where are you wounded? And I did mention this in the last video, but I just feel like it's really important to bring it up. Now, another thing that I've also noticed is you're going to be triggered, or a lot of people are going to be triggered, where you are the weakest. So for me personally, I don't get triggered by, you know, what happens out on the world stage. Like, for me, no, I can see the bullshit a mile away. But what I get triggered by is like people close to me, and, you know, where I have emotional connections. So you'll probably find that you're going to be triggered by the people closest to you. And I feel like, you know, like the people closest to us are all being used to attack us in some kind of way. You know, whether it's the divine plan so you grow, or whether it's for what they're trying to create in our world. Either way, we're still having to evolve. We're going to have to face these triggers. And these triggers can be really overwhelming. They can be really frightening, and really want to make us like push us into a corner. But this is where we need to just get up from that corner. And my favorite saying has always been, what is it? It's like, what is it? It's about dying on your feet. Yeah. It's better to die on your feet than to live on your knees, and living with a monkey on your back, you know, something that's controlling you. And so, you know, whatever triggers come up at this time, overcome them, you know, like understand that you're not weak, that you are so strong, and you're not just this body space consciousness. You're actually more than that. You're a soul having a human experience. So of course you have to live in the now and experience right now, but you're also a divine being. And what you're having to deal with and look at is just like, how can I deal with this situation differently? How can I deal with this situation from an empowered state instead of a wounded state? So if somebody is abusing you or saying something awful to you, instead of reacting or, you know, trying to one-up them, you know, take a step back and look at, like, do I even need to respond? Because I've grown from this situation, that it doesn't affect me anymore, you know, like that, those old things. Because the thing is, everybody's a mirror. So everybody's going to project our biggest fears. So if you think you have a problem with something, the people closest to us are going to mirror it. So it's just really important that we understand that there are going to be a lot of these triggers. You know, it could be your boss, it could be your parents, it could be your siblings, it could be your partner, it could be your friends, it could be anything like that. Any of those types of things that are going to trigger us at this time. If you're somebody that gets triggered by the global world stage stuff, that might be your thing. You might get triggered by stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. You are going to be triggered where you are the weakest, so you actually evolve and grow. And another one that I think is really important is to not judge anyone at this time. Everybody is really, really, really struggling. Like, I am myself. I know everybody that I know is struggling. Not in a defeated way, but it's just, my phone just rang. It's just like, when does this end, you know? And threw me right off. Yeah, so when does this end? So it's just like, and not to judge anyone. If people are showing up completely different than how they would usually show up, let them show up differently. You show up differently, and don't judge yourself and don't judge others. If people feel like they need to attack other people and one up people, that's their lesson. You know, they need to grow up in that sense, you know. So don't judge people. Just think, whatever, this person is doing the best they can. They've got their own set of issues. But they're also at the same time going to be projecting things, might be in my mirror as well, and where I need to grow and evolve and make a new decision. And yeah, I think it's important, I think I already said, is to stay in a good place. And one of the things I thought was really important that I actually thought about over the weekend is starting again. And I don't know, many times in my life I've started again or picked myself up from where I am. But I feel like at this time is just like, sorry. Start with a clean slate. Where do you need to fix your entire perspective? Where do you need to fix your entire life and start again from scratch? You know, like, where in your life can you just forget about the past, forget about anything, and just start fresh in a good space as a good person, in good morals and a good way forward? How can you do that? So I think that's important as well, is just to stay in a good place and start over again. Just be in the mindset of you're starting over again in a high vibration as much as possible. And there's a lot of fear of the unknown at the moment. I think because we're venturing down a road, especially if you're doing the work. If you're doing the work and letting go of what needs to be let go of, and moving on from what needs to be moved on from, and loving yourself and finding your power and what direction is best for you, it can feel very overwhelming. It can feel like you're going to be alone, and you're going to be on this journey alone, and no one's going to understand you, and you're alone forever. You know, but you're not. And just understand that, you know, there is that fear of the unknown, but keep going, because the right people will find you, the right people will connect to you. So no matter how you're feeling at the moment, just understand that there is going to be those feelings of the fear of the unknown. If you step into who you really are, or maybe if you finally heal your issues, that people won't like you anymore, or whatever it is, like whatever it could be for you. But yeah, there's a lot of fear of the unknown. I also think it's a good idea to cleanse your house. you know, like clean your house, cleanse your house, your car, yourself, whatever it is. Last night I was using Palo Santo. So this is from Peru. So shamans in Peru use Palo Santo. So it's from a tree and it's for clearing and protection. And I was also using white sage, which is used by the native Indians, American Indians, for clearing negative energy. So what I would usually do is I'd go through with like my white sage first, and then I will do Palo Santo after that. So yeah, just cleanse everything, cleanse the energy of your environment and be in a good place moving forward. Like I think it's really important, as you know, because the thing is, like, eclipse portals can create change for the next 6 months. So, you know, whatever we put in place and becomes a habit will be a permanent change. So moving forward, try and be in that positive, upbeat, high vibrational energy moving forward, where you're not stuck in the past, operating from an old mindset, you know, trying to survive. You know, we need to get out of that survival mentality and be in a thriving mentality where we're living the life we want, where we feel good within ourselves and we don't need things from outside of us to make us feel good, you know. So yes, and also just want to talk about my experience over the weekend. So on the weekend, from Friday actually, I felt like I was getting attacked, like mentally, like as in I would have the worst fear thoughts coming into my mind, and and then when I would process those feelings, and it's like I accepted them, and then it started attacking my heart, and like I was actually really overwhelmed about it, like extremely overwhelmed, that I felt like I was in like this pain vortex that I couldn't get out of. Like I would even say it was like an equivalent of some kind of narcissistic bubble, like how it would feel to be in that position where everything is just so hopeless and there's nothing to live for because nobody cares and you're such a shit person. And yeah, I can't explain to the full extent of what I went through, but it was quite difficult, you know. And I can only think it's obviously working part and parcel with this eclipse season and that Mercury retrograde, going back and having these thoughts about old situations. And, you know, everybody's going to be different, but that was just my experience. Like, it was literally the thoughts that I was accepting and not like repelling were then going down and like burning my heart. Like, yeah, it was just awful. Like, I actually had to like reach out to a friend and ask them for help. So yeah, it was just quite overwhelming. But yeah, so I got some cards. Oh, actually there's some other things I wanted to say. Which was, yeah, so what's also really important as well is to leave your childish mechanisms and coping skills in the past. Now, not everybody's going to be able to do this, but I think in one way or another we're really being called to, you know, use discernment, be a moral, going in a moral direction and doing the right thing. And yeah, that means letting go of, yeah, childish mechanisms and coping mechanisms from the past and finding a new way so you can thrive and not survive. And yeah, we already went over that one. And oh yeah, this is what I did. I got a picture of myself from when I was a kid and I put it on my phone screen, and I literally just looked at it and I just thought, oh my God, like, you are so cute. Like, you deserve so much better than this. You know, like, you deserve to be loved. You deserve all the things that make you happy. And you know what I mean? You don't deserve whatever shit things that have happened. And, you know, like, how can I help this little girl, like this little me, have the best life? Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. So I don't know if anybody wants to try this, but it's been really great for me, is to just get a picture of you when you were a kid and then put it on, like, not your home screen, but your front screen. And yeah, just, it makes you, remind you to look at it and look after that little person, and to love that little person, and to want the best for that little person, and to know that they're loved and needed, and you know what you would do to help yourself right now, you know what that little person of you needed to hear. But yeah, so I got some cards. This is the frequency card, and it's forgiveness. And I think that's really important at this time. Like, we're going through, you know, an Aries eclipse, which is all about aggression, war, my way, and selfishness. It's kind of very, in a way, narcissistic, the Aries dynamic in its lower vibration. But I just feel like, you know, one of the most important things at this time is forgiveness, you know, the frequency of forgiveness, and understanding that everybody is going through their own stuff, and it's really not personal, you know, like it's really something that we shouldn't be taking on board as if there's something wrong with us. Everybody's going through their own stuff, and everybody's coping the best way they know how. Like, so whenever you can, extend forgiveness. Now, the tarot that I got was the Two of Swords. The Two of Wands, which is, if you can see, the guy is holding the world in his hand, and he's holding one of the wands, which is like an idea, a decision. And to me, it's like, it's time to make that decision of where you want to move forward, and what direction you want to go, and who you want to be. You know, who are you, and what direction are you going? And that is what is kind of needed at the moment, is to make that decision for yourself, to be the best version of yourself. And, you know, understanding that you are protected, you know, like, even if you feel like you're being attacked and everything's going against you, and, you know, which they are, if we have a look at the world stage and what they're doing. But just know that you are protected, you know, that you are looked after. And yeah, just judgment. And judgment is always being judged on what you're putting out into the world, you know, like your energy, your vibration, and where you need to level up and make better decisions for yourself and your environment and for the world at large. But yeah, I think that's about it, really. But yeah, so I just hope this message was helpful. I just felt like I really needed to say it, because there's so many people in fear, thinking that it's just like the end of the world and it's the apocalypse and everything's over. And it's really not. It's just a shift in energy, a shift in conscious, you know, whether, you know, we're shifting in reality, but it will all depend on, hey Megan, it will all depend on where you are in your mind, in your heart, in your frequency. So, yeah, I don't know. I just think for now, for over this eclipse, just try and stay in the highest frequency possible. And when you have fear thoughts and negative thoughts, attacking thoughts of yourself, just don't even let them in. Just thanks for sharing, you know, and yeah, just be in your strength and be in your power, and understand that you're more powerful than you realize. But yeah, so that's it for me. I hope everybody has a blessed eclipse sensation tomorrow. And I'll see you guys soon. And I don't know, don't forget, all is good. Bye.